Hello, welcome to part 11 of the Mario-like series. Now, yesterday we've added sounds. I did still do a little bit of off-stream programming, but basically this is the list of things that we have yet to do. So we have introduced a player shooting system. We have to have the platforms for two extra mechanics, so the ones that go left and right, which you can ride on, as well as platforms that move up and down. Like they do in those cave like systems, and of course scores. Right now we have a way of keeping the score, but there is no way for the score to be displayed at the end when we finish, and right now the game just crashes at the end instead. So what we want to do is we want to work on setting up the scenes a little bit today, get the scenes right. Kind of before I go, I want to go over some changes that I did. So a first notable change is that the player now actually grows, like so. And if we collect all the money, not money, both of the power-ups, we get the biggest power-up, and each of these has a different sound. Now, of course, like I said, the shooting itself, it doesn't work just yet, but it will work shortly. Now, for day, of course, we want to do this chorus, but what we also have to add for the score is a way to keep track of time. So yeah, the end screen will be shown on two different occasions. First is going to be when we lose the game, and the second is going to be so one will appear if we lose the game, the other one will appear if we complete the game. So let's focus on doing this today. So let's just go into game management and create the end game scores script. And I want to add another piece to the UI, and that's going to be our time. So when I quickly browsed over Minecraft and Mario, I saw that I actually had way more ways of calculating the score besides counting up points. So that's something I do want to add right now. So we have player time, and I was thinking how to handle time, and I thought that rather than counting time up and coming up with some formula to count everything, I'm just going to count downwards. So I'll give a player a set amount of time, and based on that time, the score will be calculated. That means that the quicker you can finish the game, the more points you will earn, etc. So let's actually sort out the UI a little bit. So I'm going to create a little panel at the very top, like so. Where is it? Oh my god. Oh, that's right. Because the actual thing is at the top. Silly me. And so we're just going to call it panel, and it's going to be player stats, like so. And we're going to just disable the image. We don't actually need the image component for this, and for this we need to actually don't like this. So we need all of these guys in here. And what I'll do is I'll use a horizontal layout group like this. Might maybe center it a little bit. There you go. And now they're slightly shifted, of course. We're going to fix that in a second. Now, let's just do some quick maths. How much time should we give to the player? Let's just do 360, maybe a little bit more, 6 minutes. Yeah, let's try doing 6 minutes. So let's start the time at yeah, let's do it like this. So anyway, we want to have our health again at the top. So we're just going to drag it here, and we want to have level next. Oopsie daisy, like so. And now we have our display nicely centered and positioned properly. Actually, point should be first, and I mean last. So now that we have this, let's go into our game manager. and we need to start storing the time. So let's make a private float and let's call it game time, like so. And I'm trying to think. Let's make a start function. I just want to check something else. So we'll set game time is equal to 360. And then let's make a boolean. No, for now, let's just leave this idea out. So what we'll essentially do is we'll just keep removing from the time every second. So I believe the simplest way to do that would be just, for now, game time minus equals time dot delta time. Let's give this a try, and then we need, of course, our UI manager, which is found in here, and we need a new field for the time, I presume. So that would be, what's it called? The time display. And we are going to create another one of those like functions. Time remain time. There we go, like so. And then in here, if you just go to update, where is update? You probably want to move it out of update later because update happens way too often. Where's the man? Bloop. So let's actually, rather than doing this, let's just do this here. And now we can remove all of the references everywhere else. So it's not manage level. We're looking for the UI one. Where's the UI one? Should be it. There we go. Just cut this one out. Put it in here. Whoopsie daisy. Just put it in here. And now UI manager. Oh, manage UI. There we go. Dot update times. Okay, sure. And we put game time through like so. And it's actually a float, not an. And we will do to string. You just wanted to format it a little bit. There we go. So we don't get decimal points in the time. Let's see if it's not gonna work because I didn't assign the time. Oh, wait. There we go. Let's give this a try. There we go. And now we have the game time moving. I actually want to move these guys up a little bit now that I think about it. Maybe make this a little bit smaller. Yep. Like so. And with this, we have the entire time section completed. Just 1 second. Sorry for this. Anyways, so now that we've done this, now let's calculate. Well, let's do the game over. So we have our, where are we? We have our game manager, and our game manager tracks. Oh, so it actually can do manage UI.loseGame. So loseGame displays, I believe, the little. Okay, so what do we have here? Set endgame. What does set endgame do? So right now, okay, so right now if we lose, we can load into, I believe, the scene, which is endgame, which is this. Okay, so let me just play through a level and see the process. I don't remember actually making this. It was so long. Wow, I actually stepped on his head. Kill me. 2 more times. Oh. 1 more time. Okay, and now if we press any button, it loads us out of the scene, which is fine. So we actually had the error straight away. That's because this is no longer there, and our game manager moves over to the next scene, but that's fine. Because what we really need is a private boolean has lost, right? And by default, has lost is going to be set false. Actually, something that I also want to do is I want to see if the time is going to keep resetting between the scenes. So what I kind of want to do is just remove this for now. Paste this in here, like so. Where are we? So if our health is 0, we'll do has lost, and we're going to set it to true. And then we'll ignore everything and update if lost is false. So has lost is, if has lost is equal to false. We can only do it then, and that removes the error that we just had now. On start, we're going to set has lost to false. And what I want to see is if does start get called again if an object is not destroyed on load. I actually don't know that. So it's an interesting experiment at the very least. Because if it does, then that means we have to save that value between each scene change. So let's kill ourselves 3 more times. Kill me. Okay, 1 more. Okay. That was a nice collision problem. So to put simply, no, it doesn't. So I was right to put it in start. That was a good idea. The collision problem on the mushroom has to be adjusted. I have an idea on how to do it, actually. Where is the mushroom? Prefab. Where are you, Mr. Mushroom? So what I'm just going to do for now is just slightly play with the collider on the mushroom real quick. Yeah, so the collision part is probably the hardest to get right when it's done like this. So I'm just going to reduce the jump collision area. So we are more likely to collide with his sides than anything. I don't know. This just needs a lot of trial and error, essentially. Also, actually, one thing I want to check out. Where is the mushroom? So, which collider is? So this is the jump on his head collider, right? And it's not set as a trigger. Can we still pop him when it's a trigger? Okay, that was not a good try. No, so it can't be a trigger. Which one was it? Not that one. That one. Okay. It should work now. Fine, no. Let's have a look. Yeah. Well, the collision should be better than before at the very least. So what were we doing again? Oh yeah, doing the endgame screen. So let's move on to the endgame. Let's create a canvas with a text. Now let's set up the canvas a little bit. So the canvas is of course going to be in what in the scalar mode. We solid color perspective photograph. We actually only want to render the canvas itself. We don't need to render anything else. So we can just do this and put the camera in like so. Like, because all we want to really render is just the canvas. There is nothing else that we want to render. Let's add in an image, make it across the entire, and this is going to be our background. I'm not sure what the background should be. I'm probably just going to use the front screen for that. No, what? Like so. Just gonna do some. Actually, let's actually put another background behind this and put this inside, and this will be without anything. So I don't know. I'm a kind of tempted now to just make it completely black, to be honest. Okay, so let's go now to the background. This is gonna be completely black. Nah, yeah, we're just gonna make it black. So the background is just gonna be a pure blackness. Text is gonna be white instead. Let's add our little font in. Nah, it doesn't look good in bold. So it's going to say game over. And let's just put it somewhere around here like this in a center. Make it bigger. Now, just put text. Like this. And let's go back to the previous scene. I want to see what do we have. So our two metrics for our score are the time and the amount of points that we get, right? So I just took a quick screenshot of that. So let's go into the endgame and let's create some more pieces of text. So let's create a new text, and actually let's just duplicate this one. So the texts that we need are going to be the remaining time. We will need a text for our score, and then a level completion. So this is something that we'll also keep a track of, and that's how many different areas we are going to visit, and they will all have some kind of a score attached to them. So we'll add this in a minute, and then we will do a final score, like so. So now let's add a little panel. We're gonna put it out here, like this, center it, and then let's, come on, just let me. Oh, there, because it's there. Okay. And then inside of this, so this is going to be panel, and this is going to be our scores. Now I'm going to add the end game scores in here, and we'll grab 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 1, 2, and drag them inside. And I'm just going to attach a vertical layout group for each of these guys. A bit too small. And we're going to just scale them all like so with our panel. And now that I think about it, the panel has to be smaller than the text. So like this. And we'll just do some placeholders. So we'll have something like time, and we're gonna put like, I don't know, 120. Let's make them smaller. The font is too big, the maximum font that they could have. Maybe a little bit bigger. 30. There we go, like something like this. Go a directional light. You're not even necessary. So we'll have our. So first, let's put score at the top. No. Score. So we'll have a score, and then do something like, I don't know, 100. We'll have the time. Then we'll have the level bonus, and then final score, like so. It's good enough, I believe. Now let's add the code. So for this, actually one more needs to be game over. There we go, like so. And now that we have this, we can remove the image component from here. It's very simple, but I think simple is all we need for this. So let's create some private text, and that's going to be our score, high score, no, total score, time, and level. Text, 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 like so. Now in our game manager, we will also add the other variable that we wanted. So we'll do private float. Let's remove this from here. It doesn't have to be serializable anymore. Level bonus. And on start, level bonus will be, of course, 0, because that's her default. Now in here, we need some kind of a formula to calculate the score. So we will have a start function, which we'll call private void calculate scores. And we will have another function which will display the scores. So private void display scores, like so. And what we could actually do is display each score bit by bit as we load into it with a coroutine. So let's do a private IE numerator and display scores slowly. And we can actually shorten this to be by changing this into a array. We can actually be a little bit more what's it called? A little bit more dynamic with this. And let's just use a private enum. This is going to be score names. And let's just put score, time, level, bonus, and finally the total score, like so. Let's just do yield return null for now. So what's going to happen is the very first thing we'll do is we will actually just run this coroutine. So start coroutine, display scores slowly. And before even that, we will calculate our scores based on the scores that we have. So here we will have a float, time, float, no, yeah. So we'll have a float, total score. I'm going to set it to 0 at start, and then we're not going to go for anything complex, or should we? Let's just do some quick maths. What's it called? Okay. Would it be quicker to, so what's quicker, I guess, to just die? What? Why did I open that calculator? So we have 360. So 360 as our default score. If we die straight away, we get 360 points, right? Which is quicker than playing and not getting a lot of points. So how will the level impact the total score? I think the level bonus will be a multiplier rather than I think we should treat the level bonus as a multiplier to the score. And with each successful level, we'll add a 0.5 to the level. So we'll do something like this. So we'll do total score. So we'll do total score is equal. Actually, total score has to be here. Private float total score. Remove the float from here. So total score is going to be equal to the score plus time. No. Game manager dot instance dot score. Oh, we actually do we not have a way to grab them? It's called points. Points plus, and we'll have to get an accessor for the remaining values. So we have this, and we need to have this as well. We want to get them, we don't want to set them through here, only get. So let's just do this plus game manager.instance.time. I might actually change how the final formula works on the code, but I'll just, this is just to see if it works for now. So we have this, and then we will do total score is equal to total score times game manager.instance dot level bonus. So how that's going to work is on start, our level bonus is going to be 0.5, right? So let's just say our score is somewhere like 500, and that's going to be 250. If we'll actually complete one level, then we'll do that. Then we actually get a better score. So basically, the more levels we complete, the more the bonus will accumulate over time, which is better for us. And that will be our total score. And let's do our display process slowly. So what we will do is we will simply do while, and then let's make an integer called iteration, and we're going to set it to 0, and while iteration is smaller than scores display dot text dot length, like this, then we loop. At the end of each, we will have a delay, so we'll do yield return new, wait for seconds, and we'll do it something like 0.35. So we want it to happen quite fast, but we don't want it to take too long for the player, and that might be adjusted later. Why does it always add random ones? Okay, so what we'll do is we will do our scores display at the iteration number, and we actually need to have a preset message if we're gonna do it this way, don't we? Yeah, we do. So let's. Now I'm thinking whether or not I should just keep the original message. Let's just make a private string, and let's call it the message. What? I mean, I know for a fact it's gonna be 4. Is it 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And let's just set them up. So we'll type in score. We will type in time. We will type in like this. So we have score, we have our level bonus, and we have final score, like so. We have the texts, but we don't have the actual scores themselves. So let's just duplicate this basically. and change this to a float. Float. There we go, like so, and we're gonna call this the scores. So in here we'll just do scores 0. Actually, we can do this, then we can remove this get, so we don't have to keep getting them. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2. So we have our points, we have our game time, we have our bonus in here. Looks a bit confusing, I know, but it's not. So, like so. Actually, we don't need total score anymore, do we? Oh, no, we don't. And now the scores at 3 is equal to, like so. There we go. So with this, we set up all of our scores, or we can just set it to 0 here. Oh yeah, scores dot. So what we'll do is scores dot display dot text dot iteration dot text is going to be equal to, and it's going to be equal to our, not capital, small letter. It's going to be equal to our messages at iteration plus scores at iteration. And there we go. And this will loop through every single score without us needing to do anything, bit by bit. And that's it. That's all there is to be done for the scores. Actually, we'll do one more thing before we do that. And we'll just do for scores display text dot length, scores display text dot game at I dot game object dot set if false, and then you will actually set it to true as only as we are enabling it. So they will not all just have the fake values before they're actually shown. Or we no, rather than disabling them, I think they should be active from the start. What we'll do instead is we will just put the message through as an empty. So we'll do scores display dot text is equal to message iteration, not iteration I. There we go. That looks a little bit better. And as soon as we load, we kind of want to yield one more time. So yield return new, wait 4 seconds. Just going to do something like 0.5f. So we don't get the first score. We can see everything as it unveils bit by bit. Game manager. Okay, so with this, everything should work. We just need to attach the everything to its correct position. So yeah, and the first thing I do is just move out. So this is canvas end game. What do we have here? So first thing we want to add is the score. Then we want to add the time. Then we want to add the level, and we finally want to create the score. So level is not something we currently have. calculates the level and displays it at the end of the game. And actually, let's add a ability to leave the scene back into the other one. So let's just do using Unity engine.ui. What? No, scene management. And we're gonna add a boolean called pathable can exit the scores is equal to true, false. And what's gonna happen is, so we're gonna set it to false when we first load, but when we finish looping through everything, we're gonna set it to true. And I'm gonna add another little yield, so player is not too hasty with how they go around exiting the scores, and then just make a simple update function. If can exit scores is equal to true, scene management dot load scene, and you're just gonna put 0 because that's gonna be our menu, and that should be it. With then this just transports us back to our original scene. Let's comment this a little bit more. Back to main menu. Scores actually took longer than expected. Now, from this list, I'll definitely not do this because we have code for this. I might try to squeeze this one in. If not, I'll do this one off camera as well. Both of these are very simple scripts. There is not a lot that have to be added in here. But yeah, this was probably the bigger one. We'll definitely stream the shooting mechanic, and that will probably be the very last thing we'll add into the project. So let's play a level. And actually, let's fix the game score. Let's add in the game score. So for this we will need, where are we? Level manager. Level manager needs to have a multiplayer. So let's do a private. Let's just make a public static. No, not static. Public const, and it's gonna be of a type float, and this is going to be the level multiplier. I'm just gonna leave it as a flat 0.5 per level. And what's going to happen is every time we're going to load, we're just going to go into the game manager and we'll do this. Not every time we load the level. Or yes, every time we load the level. Public flow, public void, add multiplier, like so. And we'll do, or we can just set it straight away from there. It's going to be less of a hassle. Let's set, boop, boop, there you go. Not game time. Where is level bonus? There we go. Just not to make too much code anymore. So game manager dot instance dot bonus level is equal to plus equals to the level multiplier, like this. There you go. We're just gonna add to our bonus multiplier, and that's it. Very simple. And that's it. I think we should have everything. The score should load. So let's try dying. Ooh, this is interesting. So I noticed a bug where, well, I guess it's a missing functionality. Interesting. Only one of them showed up. Where did we go wrong? Where are we? Let's check out our game manager and actually make everything available and fix this little error with the the index. So when we die by these guys, we should really, where are we? Wow, this is weird. It has to reset our level. It's not being reset properly. So lose a health and false is what we want to look at. Lose a health. Hmm. Okay, that makes sense. So player tier index is equal to 0. That's something that we didn't do. We didn't reset the index. Anyway, I was actually trying to do something else, wasn't I? Yep. Player health. We're going to change it to... We're going to change them both to 1 for now. So we can test why this didn't work out as it was supposed to be. While iteration is smaller... Okay, and let's just put debug.log. Debug.log. So for this will show me how many times we've looped. And another thing that I want to do is I want to see what these guys are actually at all time, for the sake of debugging this out. I think we'll just try to fix this, and once that's done, I'm going to call the stream over. Actually, we can kill ourselves normally. Where are we? Okay, so we actually keep endlessly looping the first iteration. We're never adding to the iteration. That was silly dumb of me. Die. Ah, almost good. So few changes. Change this to 1. Change this to 0.5. Now scores dot to string is going to be set to a... Well, shit. No, this is going to block. I hate when this happens. Okay. Hello, hello. Come on, just crash already. Crash quicker. I wonder if it saved at least what I just did. So yeah, it didn't. The iteration was endlessly looping because I didn't add 1 by the end. My bad. My bad. No, it didn't save anything. So dot to string. Just gonna put 0 here. With this done, yeah, there's a slight collision issue with the mushroom as well. Well, to be honest, the player didn't instantly die. Well, the game did finish it as death. Interesting. And the bonus level is not adding as it should be, which is wrong. So on start, we should actually be getting bonus level to our... maybe it's a script execution order actually. Project settings, script execution order. So let's add our game manager as the very first script that we load, and then add whatever. And only then we want to add our level manager as well as the UI manager. So those are like the core scripts. nothing else really matters. Where is it? Am I blind? There we go. Apply. Now this should be fine. So if we click on our game manager now, there we go. Our level bonus did that. Okay, click over. Interesting. So it added to a point. That's because our scores are integers. No, it is a float. Why would it be more? So the level bonus is 0.05, 0.5. We die. Oh, it's because we don't allow decimals in our text, which is something that we can fix real quick. Can I? Would it be like this? Is this the right formatting? Either way, it works. Everything worked fine. There's no point overextending this. I'll try to fix the bugs at the platforms, and we will be back for. There we go. Yeah, that was it. It was simply because it wasn't doing the decimal. But I kind of only want a decimal on 0, 1, 2. So if iteration is equal to 2, kind of just want to do this, else we're just going to do it like that. Yeah, that's good enough. So yeah, that's done. We can actually cross out the scores off the list. Now we actually have a new bug. So player doesn't die from enemy properly. So what's going to happen is I'll be doing these 3 off the screen, and I'll be making some levels, because these 2 will go to specific levels regardless. So I'll be playing around with the levels now, because I believe there is everything done. And then at the end, we are going to stream this as our final part, and maybe add the music as well, because there's currently no background music. But that's the problem. I can't find any background music for this. Once we finish with this, we'll push through the other series, which is the pathfinding one. I had a lot of ideas on how to handle every puzzle already, so I have it planned out in my head. And then we're gonna make a mobile game. That's gonna be our next project. But yeah, this is it for now, and I'll be back in later today.